Hey, Coach Jody, yeah, and yes, this is episode number 6 of On the Couch with me. And wow, I am beyond excited, but at the same time a little bit scared to talk about this topic. And I say I'm a little bit scared because parenting and sport is a bit of a touchy subject. There's no manuals out in this world really on how to parent and parent effectively. Yet there's so many things that happen next to a cricket field that I really just feel can maybe be done a little bit better by parents. And so um, the topic for this on the couch is, are you a good sports parent? And I think most parents would say yes, they are. And the reason they say that is because I have a belief, right? My belief is that every human behavior has a positive intention. And so when parents parent, everything they do comes from a positive place. And I'd like for you to just keep that in the back of your mind as I talk today about parenting and sport. And it's been fascinating over the last couple of weeks that I've had a couple of conversations with different parents about specifically parenting and sport. And so, yeah, like I say, it's a bit nerve-wracking. But so here goes, right? So here's what I notice. And I'm going to try and be as frank as I can. And these are my views, right? You have a right to disagree. And if you do disagree, let's have a conversation below this video, happily. And if there's no comments, then I think nobody disagrees. Right, so here's what I notice. I think that parents are a little bit uninformed about how this game works, about how cricket actually works. At the top level, right, best cricketers in the world, they understand something about this game. They understand that a world-class batter will be successful 30% of the time. If you take a cricketer that averages 50, right, which is the best in the world, and they play 100 innings, that means over 100 innings they average 50. To average 50 in a very, very blunt way means that you go out every innings. In 50 innings, you get 100, and in 50 innings, you get naught. And although that's not really the reality, to me it's a nice way of just understanding that to average 50, there is success and there's failure. And half the time, in my example, there's success, and half the time there's failure. In reality, how it works is it's about 30% of the time success, because guys make 150 and then they make a not out, and that boosts averages. So 70% of the time they actually fail. They get to 30 and get out, they get to 10 and get out, they get bowled for a duck, and it's the same for bowlers. They might not take wickets every game, and then some games they take 6. And so I think parents are a little bit uninformed about that. The idea that cricketers must go out there and perform every single game is a misconception about this game. That the game has its ups and downs. It exists within the nature of the sport, and failure is more inevitable than success. 70% of the time, guys fail. And so I think if we can understand that, right? So this is what really bugs me at times when I coach and I work with players, whether it's coaching them cricket or mental coaching stuff, is parents who start panicking and freaking out when their children are having a series of performances that doesn't live up to the perceived potential of the child. And I say perceived because we're either comparing our child to other kids or cricketers around our child that's busy performing and say, oh, see, at his age, he's not doing what that child is doing. Or your child might have potential and he's not living up to some stuff he did in the past. And so I really think that is not very healthy. It's not very healthy because it puts us as parents, and I say us because I'm a parent too, right? It puts us in a place where if we're comparing, it's the past, it's gone, it's over, and our children are learning and they're growing, which is my second point, is that we're not taking at times a developmental view and a learning approach to our child's sport. So we so focused and zoned in on this moment, and he didn't perform now, that we at times forget about that long-term view. Now, a lot of parents, right, have visions for their children. They can see their child playing for South Africa one day or making a career out of the game. And that's great, right? I don't think that's a negative thing. I think it's important to have that. I would hope that in part your child shares that vision and it's not just yours and actually they want to play chess or become a businessman. So I would hope that your child shares in that vision, and when they do share in that vision, it's important to be able to take that vision and plant it somewhere and separate ourselves from it. Because if we can separate from the vision, then we can do the real work. Then we can say, right, how do we get there? And so parents who stand next to the field at 9-year-old games screaming and shouting at their kids on how to play the game, in my mind is just not cool, because playing the game is the opportunity to perform. All right, Kolb has this whole learning cycle thing, but in a nutshell, very simple. Playing the game is the opportunity to perform. That's what they're busy practicing. And so if we interfere with that process too much, they're actually not learning. Learning happens post-performance, post-game, when we can sit down with our child and talk with them and tell them, listen, here's some notes that I have, all right? What do you think? How did you feel? How did you experience that, all right? Here's what I think. Here's where I think you got better. Here's where I see you got worse. And I'm only saying this if you're that type of parent that wants to be involved in your child's sport at that level, that you actually sit with a little notebook and say, okay, cool, I see Johnny's improved here. I see this part here bugs me. Let me find out from him how he's experiencing that. Instead of just me going, hey, hit the ball, whatever it might be that we're shouting at them from the side. The most common one is run, because kids can't run between the wickets. So if they can't run between the wickets yet, then that's a great opportunity to know that's what we've got to help them with off the field, so that next time they play, they can do it better. I think, though, that the biggest thing that a parent's got to be able to do for a child is to support them and to understand that there's a process, right? No 9-year-old plays for South Africa, or for any country for that matter. So understand that there's a process. Understand that learning's got to happen. They've still got to get through growth spurts at the age of 15, 16. They've still got to get through that 13 to 15 to 16 to 17 to 18 phase where hormones kick in boys and it's just girls. They got to get through that before they can potentially have a cricket career. They got to get through injuries. They got to get through a whole host of setbacks, from not making teams, from making teams. The stories I can tell you about cricketers at 15 who were the best in the country and at 25 aren't playing the game anymore, plenty. Stories of kids who at 19 were the best or part of the best, not making national teams, are now playing cricket in other countries. The path, we don't know where it takes us. And I think as parents, if we start panicking and freaking out, instead of accessing the learning with the idea that more is to come in future, we're not setting up our children for success in the long run. All we're doing is creating pressure and stress in their lives that make them quit the game, a game that they can love and do love at the age of 20, and they stop playing. And then they live with regrets for not actually following through on something that they love. Like I say, scary topic. I hope I made sense. I hope you got some value out of it. If you think there's somebody else out there that can get some value from my couple of minutes here talking about parenting and sport, then please feel free to tag them or share this video. I would really appreciate that. At the end of the day, everything I do as a coach is not about me. It's about the children I work with, and I think parents play a huge part in that. And I see every day, daily, how parents affect and influence the kids that they work with. So if I can add a little bit of value to that, to help parents to just understand their role in helping their children become the best they can be, then yeah, I'm happy to do so. Cool, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, bye.